Welcome to Two Cooks in the Kitchen. Today we are making chawanmushi, which is a Japanese egg custard dish. We have a favorite sushi restaurant in San Francisco called On in Japantown. And the chef's omakase, one of the courses is this really cute little pot with this egg and tofu soup, custard thing, chawanmushi. So we're going to make some today, but we're going to make more of a meal-sized portion. So chawanmushi starts with dashi, and we're going to make enough dashi to make a couple of different Japanese dishes. It's a staple in Japanese cooking. It's like a seaweed broth, and it contains the exact precise chemical that has been identified as umami. So this is kombu, which is dried kelp. And I have 1 ounce of kombu. I have 7 dried shiitake mushrooms that I've just kind of torn into pieces, and 8 cups of water. And I'm going to bring this just barely to a simmer, take it off the heat, and add some bonito flakes and let steep for 10 minutes. And strain it off, and that will be our dashi. So we'll get this going and come back when it's almost simmering. All right, so this is just about to be at a simmer, and this is where we want to turn it off. We don't want this to boil, because boiling can bring out some of the bitterness in the kelp. If we just want to get this to a good heat and then let it steep, and we're going to add some bonito flakes. And again, if you have the bonito flakes in when it's simmering, you'll get a really kind of a salty aspect out of the bonito flakes. This was 4.5 grams of bonito flakes. So now we're just going to let this steep for 10 minutes, and then we're going to strain it off, and that will be our dashi. Okay, there's our 10 minutes. Our dashi has steeped, and unlike a lot of Western broths, dashi is really a very clear liquid. Now, I made more than we need for this recipe, so I'm gonna
make a mess.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm saving a quart of it for other recipes, and then I'm going to strain off the rest of it. And there you have our dashi. Now we need to let this cool before we can make our chawanmushi. So we'll just let this cool and come back later and make our dinner. All right, so I've done quite a bit of prep here. I've cut my 8 shiitake mushrooms into smaller pieces. I've cut my 1/2 pound of tofu into smaller pieces. I've frizzled some green onions. We have this tool that you cut them with and then throw them in ice water, and they're supposed to curl up, and some of them do and some of them don't, and that's just how it is. And I have 200 milliliters of eggs, and I'm going to mix these gently with chopsticks. We don't really want to get air in this. We just want to make a mixture. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to take my 200 milliliters of egg and mix it with 600 milliliters of dashi. And again, we're not looking for air in here, but we do want a nice creamy looking soup. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that for now. So the next thing we're gonna do is get our fish ready. I'm using black cod. Any kind of a really nice light fish would be good for this. You know, like lake trout would be great in here. I'm using black cod because it's quite forgiving. And I'm going to cook it. I'm just going to poach it in milk. So I'm going to get the milk hot. And then open up the black cod. We bought a whole fish from the docks, and it comes filleted. And these are the end pieces because we're going to cut these into bites, so we don't need the really nice pieces of fish like we'd use for miso cod or something. And as soon as this milk gets hot, I'm just going to poach these for about 4 minutes. I don't want to cook them all the way. I just want to, you know, get them started. So in we'll go. And that could have been hotter. I don't think it's hot enough to be cooking yet, so I'm gonna give this a little bit to warm up. And in the meantime, we're going to steam this dish. And we've had to improvise a steamer. So what we have here is a pan that's big enough for the 2 bowls and a rack so that they're not sitting right on the heat. And I think I can just turn on 2 burners underneath this and get it to steam. We're gonna have to cover this with foil because it doesn't have a lid. And we will cover the bowls also, but we can do that with cling wrap. Now I see our fish is cooking. So we're going to let that go for about 4 minutes. And we'll come back after that. All right, so these are pretty small pieces of fish, and I just feel like they're cooked enough. They're going to steam some more in the chawanmushi. So we're going to get these out of here. And I've started my pan over here to see if I can get some, get it heating up while I build my dish. Let's see. I'm going to need to cut this fish. See if it'll just flake apart. It smells good.
It's a good way to cook fish.
So the thing about this dish is that this egg custard is going to be silky smooth, and so we want things in here that will kind of match that texture. The thing with the most texture should be the shiitake mushrooms. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so don't want these pieces to be too small, but it's not a lot of fish. So now we're going to build our dish. We're going to start with some tofu on the bottom of the bowl. And then we're going to put some of our fish on top of that. And we're going for a little bit of height here in the middle of the bowl.
Missed a piece.
Ooh, don't want to do that.
Nice chunk.
And then we'll put on our shiitake mushrooms. And we'll just have to see if we use all of these. I'm not sure we will. It seems like a lot, but this one's not as tall. Come on up, buddy. And now we're going to put in all right, so yeah, I put that in something I could pour, and we'll go about halfway up the bowl. And I'm just now going to try and get these even-ish. Egg lumps. Not sure that's very good. Okay, and then we're going to put on top of this for presentation here the rest of our fish. Now, traditionally, this would be done in a smaller, like a clay pot that has a lid, something cute and little, as a course in a bigger meal. We're making this just for our a dinner. It's a dinner size. So I think we're going to put on a little more mushrooms here. Okay. And then, all right, so we're gonna put cling wrap over these because we're not putting this in the oven or anything, just steaming it. And we don't want any steam.
No?
Nope, we didn't get it. We don't want any steam to our cling wrap ran out, so we had to get a new one. It doesn't happen very often, so we don't know what we're doing.
Once every 5 years or so.
We just don't want any steam to get on our custard. There. And then we're going to put these in our pan. And then we have to cover our pan. It'd be great if we had something big with a lid, but here we are. Okay, steamer. How about that? So we're going to set the timer for 20 minutes. And we are going to make a soy glaze. And to do so, let me get some measuring devices out. All right, our soy glaze. I have 100 milliliters of water, which ends up being somewhere slightly less than a half a cup. And I'm going to boil this, and when it starts to boil, I'm going to add 50 milliliters of mirin. And 50 milliliters of tamari. And then I have a teaspoon of cornstarch, and I'll make a little slurry and put that in after a little while to get it to thicken. So we're just going to wait for that to boil. All right, we're boiling, so I'm going to throw in my mirin and tamari. You know, or soy sauce would be the traditional thing, but since this is gluten-free, we're using tamari. And, now we're going to let this reduce just a little bit, and in the meantime, I think I'll make my cornstarch slurry. Take my teaspoon of cornstarch and just a tiny bit of water. Don't need to get carried away. Mix it up good, and then we'll mix it again before we put it into our sauce. Our sauce is boiling back again. So we'll let that reduce just a little bit. Boiling hard. Then we'll come back and thicken it. All right, so we're just going to thicken this a little bit. It's reduced. Oh, jeez. You really need bowls you can pour out of. That'll have to come back up to a boil before it's going to thicken. And we don't need this to be, super thick. Okay. So I think that's perfect. Now we're just waiting for our bowls to finish cooking. And we'll have our meal. Okay, after our 20 minutes, I can see that this is still kind of liquidy in the middle. It looks pretty cooked on the outside, and remember, this is, a soft custard, not a hard custard. So we had to improvise with cutting board on top to keep the steam in. So I'm going to give this another 5 minutes for sure, and we'll check it again. Okay, so our next 5 minutes is done, and I really want to make sure that these are done. So I'm going to take one of these, which is going to be tricky.
Do you want to turn your water or your heat off? I mean,
No, I want to make sure it's done first.
Okay, where are you going? Oof.
It looks nice. It's jiggling properly. Look at that. See?
Oh yeah, that's great.
See if we can get in here without hurting ourselves.
Oh yeah, that looks great.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Okay, that's what we're after. All right, now I'll turn the heat.
Oh, that one got a little pool of steamy condensation on it. Watch your hands. This is dangerous.
Okay. So here we go. One of the reasons I like to do these rather more exotic and interesting recipes is just to let you know that when you find a food in a restaurant and you go like, wow, what is that? I wish I could make that. Well, you can. Just look it up and learn how to make it. Watch our videos and you be a pro. So don't forget to subscribe, because we do other things. Oh, let's see, what do we got here? So now we have our garnish stage.
Some cool curly ones.
I think we have like a lot more than we need right here, but yeah, they came out pretty cool. Ooh, look at that. It's a bunny. Oh, no, not anymore. Okay, so there you have it. It looks beautiful. It's going to be great. Let's see what it eats like.
Oh, do you need to put that sauce on there first?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Didn't make the sauce for nothing. So this really is just to have a little drizzle of this on here. Oh, yeah, see? Purdy. Wish I could get it to 2 drops, but no.
Okay, now you can taste it.
A little bit more for this one. It's kind of nice in the middle there. And then we shall see how it eats. Wow. So that custard is just super, super creamy. And we use the silky tofu also, so that should be similarly creamy. You can taste the dashi. It tastes like a seafood-ish soup. It's like a super pleasant umami flavor. The mushrooms, you can taste that flavor in there too. This is really, really good. So, thanks for watching Two Hooks in the Kitchen. Subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment. Let us know you're around. And we'll see you next time.